Okay, Dee Dee back again here for our hopefully second part of live stream. Um, I guess there was a glitch in the internet. I'm not sure. I mean, my modem looks okay, but I have Mediacom and they're not the best internet service, I've been told. Unfortunately, the other ones don't really work for us any better. In fact, they're worse. So, everybody that was here that wants to be here, come on back. I'm back on. I had to leave that other place. There I am. Yes. I got smart and labeled it the same title. Like the last time that happened, I gave it a totally new title and nobody could find me. So now I'm learning. Give it the same title. People will most likely see it pop up again and come back. Welcome back. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on. Internet glitches happen. So we were talking about creating barriers to help us build and break habits. Okay. So basically it's putting something there to make it difficult for you to do the same habit. In my case, it's putting nail polish on my nail to keep me from biting it. Every time I look down and see how pretty it looks, I don't want to ruin that. So I don't bite my nails. And it's worked so far every time. So another thing they taught us in different groups I was in was if you feel an urge to do something like biting your nails or picking at your fingers or whatever your physical issue is, grab onto the table in front of you and hold on until the urge subsides. Sometimes that works for people. All this stuff works for me because I am highly suggestible. I mean, I don't have a problem believing something if somebody tells me it's true. But a lot of times now I've learned to do the research for myself and not just believe things off the bat. Okay, the second thing is out of sight, out of mind. So for food especially, put it somewhere you're not going to see it. Like all the goodies and things, I have one place I keep them. I don't have sugar in the house at all. I don't own any sugar other than one bag of brown sugar, and it's literally in a bucket hidden away, a dark bucket that I don't even remember it's there half the time. So it's not an issue of temptation for me. I know it's there. If I'm making pancakes and I want to stick my finger in and go swishy, swishy on the pancake, just a little spritz here or there, I'm okay with that. But I'm not tempted to make like treats with tons and tons of brown sugar on it. Let's face it, brown sugar is delicious. It is. But I am not going to have that constantly out in my sight because I know it's not super healthy for me. I don't have any white sugar in the house at all. I use stevia and only stevia as far as white sweeteners go. I have used the drops. I do like the stevia drops. I have flavorings for my water. If I don't want to drink plain water, I have my stevia flavorings. So I have that. But for the most part, anything that is tempting, any type of treat or anything like that, like if I get cookies, even if they're sugar-free cookies, they are behind the blue curtain on the shelf. I don't look behind that blue curtain very often because it takes effort. I'm lazy when it comes to food and stuff like that. I want to cook something I'm in the mood to cook. I want to eat something that's easy to grab. I don't tend to go behind that blue curtain very often unless I'm making something like soup and I need canned goods or something. So I know that about myself, and that's where I hide everything. That's why that curtain's there. Besides, it looks better in the kitchen to have that curtain on there without all that stuff showing. I think I'm a ladybug. I like to hide things. I think in the clutter bug thing that I did, I think that's what I found out is I like to hide things away. I don't like seeing them. Contrary to popular opinion on YouTube, I don't like clutter. I don't like mess. I don't like seeing stuff sitting out. So I tend to just hang curtains everywhere. So I don't have to see it. I can just put it behind there and it's gone. I don't have to see that mess. However, certain things I like to be able to grab quick, like my spices. Those are put where I can see them because I use them a lot. I use cinnamon. I use a little bit of salt and pepper here and there. My two favorite spices I grab every time I make anything like meat or like a dinner food or whatever are garlic powder, onion powder, just automatically off the bat. Then usually turmeric and what do you call that stuff? Yeast flakes. I do use those too. So those are like within reach, but other stuff out of sight, out of mind. So that's the second thing. The third thing is distraction. I told you before on the first part of this, I distract myself a lot. If you're pulling towards something that you are having a craving for or you really want, do something different. Like a lot of times I want to go on YouTube and tell people stuff, and I'll be like, nope, you can't be on there doing that. You need to go and call a friend that you trust or go and journal. There's a good idea for that. Everything doesn't need to be publicized. Everything is not public. I learned that the hard way many, many times on here. And I'm learning now to be very discreet in what I share with everybody. So if I go to want to talk because, okay, my personality, I'm an extrovert. I love speaking. I don't mind being on camera. I'm very comfortable about it. Now, I guess maybe if it was a movie camera or a TV camera, I'd probably have a little bit of, jitters in my tummy about that. But it's YouTube. It's a screen on a computer. You guys see me. I know that. I know I'm seen. But I can't see you. So that doesn't bother me. I can't see your reaction to me. So it's not the same as if you're sitting in a live studio audience with people going, or, ooh, you're not seeing any of that. That's why I never understood. Hey, LB, I never understood why people would not get on a social media camera. Now, I'm not talking about the nonsense that goes on when you're on a YouTube channel or a Facebook group, or I'm talking about just the physical thing of getting on a camera. It will never make logical sense to me why somebody would be afraid to do that. You're literally talking to a screen, unless you don't like seeing yourself. Now that would make sense. I don't mind seeing myself. I like myself. I don't think I'm ugly looking. I'm plain looking. I'm like average. I don't think I'm any raving beauty, but I don't think I'm ugly as a frog or something either, So it doesn't bother me. And the fact that nobody is where you can see them reacting to you, I don't get it. Anyway, that's just me. That's my thing. So yeah, distracting, taking a walk or calling a friend or finding a hobby to work on when you're wanting to do something that's probably not healthy for you or good for you or whatever. That's number 3, distraction. So we talked about creating barriers, out of sight, out of mind, distraction. And then the fourth one is linking. I learned this actually in psychology class about linking habits together. So it's easier to form a new habit if you link it with another habit. If you want to learn to, I'm trying to think of what I can tell you. Some people want to pray in the morning, okay? So what they'll do is they'll set an alarm to pray. Now, maybe that alarm is not going to work to help them form that habit of prayer. So what they do is they set an alarm, and it might have a message on it, or it might have their favorite song on it. And when they hear that song, oh, prayer time. It might even be something about going down to the river to pray or whatever. You're linking habits together. So how do I link this like with weight loss? I think the biggest thing, linking, not blinking, no, linking. Yeah, blink. That'll help you do it. No. One of the things that I do for my habit is every morning I go to my WW app every morning. After I spend some time talking to God about the day or whatever. And I go right into that and I look at my menu. So I know, okay, yeah, it does make more sense than blinking. I know that this is what I'm eating today. And if I don't have a menu plan, which I usually do now, I sit there and take a moment and make one. Okay, what do I feel like eating today? What do I got in the house? Today, since it's Shabbat, it is my Sabbath day today. And I'm supposed to just kind of rest and chill and do things I enjoy and relax and focus on me and where I am in the world and what Yahweh God means to me, etc. I am going to sit down and I'm going to inventory, not sit down, I'm going to get up and go inventory my house, see what kind of foods I have, and start compiling ideas for meals with the food that I have. It doesn't do any good to try to make meals if you don't have the stuff. You got to constantly go out for the foods. I have certain foods in the house I can make meals out of. So that's going to be my link to my habit. My habit will be turning on my Weight Watchers app, making sure I have the foods to eat, and planning what I want to eat. And I always plan stuff I love. I'm not eating anything I don't like anymore at all. If I don't like it, it's not going in my mouth. If I absolutely love it, for sure, it's finding my way onto my menu plan. That's just how it is. I like to appeal to the senses. So, yeah, that eating habit, definitely going to be one that I appeal to. All right. So, yeah, attaching one habit with another, linking. Lowering the bar, not putting so much pressure on yourself and doing things in parts is something I've always taught, even life coaching. I taught people to break a big thing into little tiny parts. I'm a step by step person. And I'm also one of those people that says, which I hate this saying, but how do you eat an elephant one piece at a time or something like that? I don't believe in eating elephants by any means, but the idea is, how do you take on something so big and so overwhelming and make it doable by breaking it into individual little parts? And that's what I've always done. And that's what I've always coached people to do. And it works. You just basically start with something that's super easy. I always ask people, what is doable for you right now? Okay. Maybe somebody is trying to lose weight. So what can you do? And usually they'll go into the whole reason why it doesn't work and everything they tried and it didn't work out, whatever. And then you say, okay, that's fine. I'm hearing you. I understand none of that worked. That's sad. Boo-hoo, but what can you do? What are you willing to do right now? I'm going through this with a couple people right now that I'm kind of coaching, asking them, what is a doable thing? What can you see happening for you and being successful? No matter how small, anything. It's just, you got to start somewhere, and every little bit counts, no matter how tiny it is. So for me, what was I willing to do? Oh yeah. Well, actually, LB, in Weight Watchers, steps back are okay too. We accept people's steps back. The idea is, what did you learn when you took that step back? What did you find out about yourself? What can you do differently? You don't beat yourself up for taking steps back, because there's no time for that. The more time you waste beating yourself up for the bad stuff, the more you're not moving forward in the good stuff. So you just say, okay, oopsie, I did that. That happened. You might want to investigate why it happened. And then you might want to find out, okay, so what did I learn? Okay, I can't be around the candy bowl at my friend's house because it's a temptation. Or I need to ask my friend to put it up in the cupboard when she knows that I'm coming over. Stuff like that. The 2-step. Yeah, I get it. There's actually a book called 3 Steps Forward, 2 Steps Back. It's an actual book. I think it's by Chuck Swindoll. It's a Christian author. And it's a really good book. I've read it several times in my life because a lot of times I've felt like that. Like, okay, I was moving forward. Everything's cool, smooth sailing. Oops, bam, I got knocked down again. But I'm not the type of person that when I get knocked down, I stay there and complain about it or wallow in it. I'm just like, okay, that didn't work. Oh gosh, time to do something different, move in a different direction, a more positive direction. So if it doesn't work, it's just kind of a glitch. Like I told my daughter Amber, which she tells everybody now, and she uses it in her own life. It's a drop in the bucket. Life is this big bucket of water or whatever liquid you want. And your little mistakes and stuff, that's just a drop in that bucket. It's tiny. And you got to stop looking at, oh my gosh, there's all this water around me, and get out of the bucket and look down and say, oh, that's just one little blip. It's one little drip in the bucket, But yes, our drips can cause waves, ripples. I know that. But that's okay. Those ripples eventually go away. They calm down, and that wave is settled. The water's still again. It's going to eventually happen. This too shall pass. So you can't stay down. I think that's one reason I did lose over 30 pounds since I started this journey on YouTube to lose weight. Most people know what I used to look like. You just look at my earlier videos, some of which I posted recently. I'm moving forward. I'm not moving backward. I'm not really standing still too much. It's not that I don't have days when I'm like, oh man, I gained a pound or two. That happens. But just keep moving forward. And until I breathe my last breath, I will always be setting goals and reaching goals. And you should, because why not? Why not? And live your life, So yeah, take little things that you can do, start with those, and then add more on. I remember back when I decided belly dancing was something I wanted to try. I had seen it. I thought it was cool looking. I wonder if I could do that. And I thought, well, you're never going to know unless you try. So I turned on the music and I basically filmed myself and looked at my moves and said, okay, I got this. This looks like I'm not too bad looking doing it. I thought I liked it. And so I shared it with everybody now. Obviously, some people were offended. I get it. I've taken those down. I don't know if I'll put them up again. I'm not sure because I was quite a bit heavier when I did the belly dancing and people found it offensive or inappropriate. And I don't want to offend people. So I don't know. I'm still praying and thinking about whether I will do that. But it was something I tried. And then I tried Just Dance and clogging and found out I could do those things. And I might not be an expert. I'm sure I'm not. There's people that are way better than me at clogging that are absolutely amazing. But it's fun and it's something I did and I can do if I want to. And it helps lose weight and it makes me feel happy and produces endorphins, which is what everybody wants, honestly. No matter what people are doing, whether it's good or bad, we are all about seeking pleasure of some kind, even if it's at somebody else's expense. The human body, the human being, is geared for seeking pleasure rather than pain, unless you're into some strange things we won't get into. But even pain can be pleasurable, and that's why some of those people seek that instead. I do not like pain, so I seek pleasure and enjoyment, and hobbies bring that to me. Dancing brings that to me. Singing brings that to me. Playing instruments, whatever. And you have things that you like to do. So do those things, whatever the habit is you're trying to break or something you're trying to establish, find something you love and just do it. Nike, just do it. Okay, the next thing is, let's see here. Watching how things change. In life, there are changes that happen that you associate. One of the things I like about this book is that it's very practical. And one of the things they say is October we associate with cinnamon and nutmeg and pumpkin pie and stuff like that. Apples, maybe apple cider. As things change in your life, you'll notice yourself being subconsciously triggered if you pay attention. A lot of times, forming or breaking habits has to do with changes in life. So keep an eye on when something happens in your life. What do you do? How do you react to it? How does it affect you? What actions do you take? All of that has to do with making or breaking habits or things that you want to do in your life. So keep an eye on things that are changing. Number 7. Let's see. Just taking little steps, remembering that each habit is a tiny part of a bigger habit. So I'm trying to think of how to explain this to you. Okay, well, we'll go with my nail biting thing. My habit that I wanted to break was biting nails. And it was part of a bigger habit, which was probably boredom or maybe nervousness or just not paying attention, not being mindful, not being present in the moment, I think was my biggest reason I would bite my nails. Because it usually happened when the TV was on. I was watching something, usually Ninja Warrior, because I'd get like all stressed out every time they would swing from one thing to the other way above the water. My heart would just jump. So I'd find myself, nibbling my nails. Oh, there you go, LB. See, your trigger. So it's not that I have to stop watching Ninja Warrior. I have to know that every time I turn Ninja Warrior on, to have something in my hands so I'm not tempted to bite the nail. So, and that doesn't mean food. So usually I'll have a book that I'm reading while it's on, or I'll be on my computer while it's on, or my phone. That keeps my hands busy so they're not going this way. So stuff like that. Remember, every habit has a tinier habit that it all started with. There's always a beginning to something that starts, whether it's a habit or an experience or whatever. It all begins at the beginning. Like I always tell people, I used to own a restaurant. It was called Char Grill. And I used to hire people and have to train them to work at the restaurant. And one of the things was they would come in, they'd be nervous. I don't know what to do. I don't know where this goes. I'm afraid I'm never going to learn this. Remember, one girl had obsessive compulsive disorder and had to line everything up in numbers. Like there had to be 6 on every tray of something. So literally, if there was like 5 hamburgers and the people didn't order French fries, she would say, "Here, do you want a free drink?" Just so there'd be 6 items on the tray. And she would get very nervous about, oh yeah, it was our family restaurant too. Char Grill was a restaurant I ran with my first husband and 3 daughters, 4 daughters at that time. I think Amber was born by then because Amber's birthday is in 99. And we owned, no, okay, she is a baby still. So we owned the restaurant between 2009, 2010. Yeah. But when people would come in that I would hire, I would need to train them and they would be freaking out. So the girl with OCD especially was very scared that she'd get it wrong. And I remember she was just like, I'm afraid I'm going to get this wrong. I'm afraid I'm going to give them the wrong thing. I said, look, we all begin at the beginning. You're brand new here. You're just starting. Relax. It's okay. You're going to make mistakes. So what? Everything starts in the beginning. Once upon a time or in the beginning. Those are 2 phrases that start important books. We all start somewhere. Oh, that's cool, LB. I know we got a lot in common. That's true. We definitely do. So yeah, start somewhere. Just start. It doesn't matter where you start. Just start somewhere. Make some decision to start on a new breaking or making a habit. That's all you got to do. Just start somewhere. Okay. Yeah, this one was interesting. So if you have a bad habit you're trying to break, this is not making a new thing. This is actually breaking a habit. And you find yourself driven to do that thing, set a timer for 10 minutes. Wait till that timer goes off to get back to whatever you're doing. So me with my losing weight thing, if I have a cake in the house and I'm like, I really, really want a piece of cake, but I just had one. I don't really need another piece of cake, but I'm craving cake so bad. Put on the timer for 10 minutes. Go do something else. See at the end of 10 minutes, do I still want the cake? Now, I'm fickle as far as that kind of stuff goes. So I can almost guarantee you if I found something else to do, that cake isn't going to even be a second thought for me. But if I want it, I'll have it. I just know that it's there and I can have it if I want it. Is it going to be the best thing for my weight loss? No, obviously not, especially if I already had one. But the problem with sugar is the more sugar you eat, the more sugar you crave. I know that for a fact. If I go for weeks at a time without eating any sugar, I don't even think about sugar. Because I have stevia if I want sweet. I have fruit if I want sweet. I have alternatives. I don't have sugar in my house, like I told you. I don't. I don't think I even have things with white sugar in them in the house. Now, obviously, pasta turns to sugar. We all know that. I do have pasta in the house. I admit that. In fact, I'm having stuffed shells tomorrow for Sunday because Sunday is sauce day. I didn't show you guys my new little chart I have either. I think you might like to see this. So I'll show you that at the end. So stay tuned till the end of the video and you'll see my newest chart. You know I like to make charts and graphs and stuff. Oh gosh, I love, love, love cheese. I will never be giving up cheese. Absolutely love the stuff. In any way, shape, or form except head cheese, which isn't really cheese. So I think it's like pig parts or something. Ugh. No, I will never try that. No desire. Okay, be aware of how you feel. That's another thing. And I think a lot of people don't do that. They don't check in with themselves of, oh, I'm feeling stressed right now. I'm feeling angry right now. I'm feeling bored. They don't pay attention to it. They just automatically placate it with food or with some unhealthy habit, drinking or gambling or whatever your vice is. Everybody has something that we struggle with, I think. And people just don't check in with themselves to find out What am I feeling right now? Am I sad? What do I need to do? Do I need to go have a good cry? Do I need to call up a friend and tell them? Do I need to go watch a sad story on, TV, movie, whatever? Do I need to listen to a sad song to cry it out? Or do I just need to get over it? Whatever. Check in with yourself. Ask yourself how you feel from given moment to given moment. We just need to do that. Some of us are so busy with jobs and stuff like that. We just don't take the time to really check in and find out where we're at in our emotional thermostat, if you will. That's important. With any goal or any breaking of a habit, you need to know what's driving you and what you're feeling at the moment. Thank you for the thumb, by the way. So yeah, just make sure you know where you're at on that emotional scale. That's important. I think there's one more to go over, and then I'll show you my chart, and we can chat a bit if you want. Okay, triggers. Okay, we have already talked about LB's trigger. She goes into a Target, and she smells the Starbucks. Now, okay, Starbucks smells good. We all know that if we are familiar with Starbucks. Just because you smell something does not mean you have to have it. Maybe there is an alternative treat in Starbucks that you can have, and start a new pattern, a new habit of, okay, every time I smell the smell, I'm going to go order a Starbucks black coffee with a little bit of whatever, sucralose or whatever you use in it. So use that trigger, but don't necessarily jump on whatever you're smelling. Find an alternative that every time you smell that, you're going to go and do that. Or maybe it's something in a totally different part of the store. Maybe you have the money where if you smell that smell when you go into Target, oh, I smell that smell. It's time to buy another dishcloth for the kitchen or whatever. Something non-food related, non-drink related. Start re-triggering. Switch out your triggers. Use a trigger to trigger a good habit instead of a bad habit. Just a thought. Take it or leave it. Okay. Let's see. So you have to realize what your triggers are. Okay. There you go. So you have an alternative. Awesome. And that's working for you. So obviously you figured out the answer. So triggers are just basically not something to fear. There's something to make you alert to what's going on around you. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to switch out what you usually crave when you smell that trigger smell. You're going to go and get yourself something that is healthier for you, or something that you earned, something more enjoyable. Maybe it's a new outfit. Maybe every time you come into a store and Christmas time for one thing, start smelling that stuff in the air and you start craving candy and sweets and cookies. I'm a cookie fanatic. I love frosted Christmas cookies. I could eat them probably by the container full. Haven't in years, thankfully. But they do trigger me. They do. I love it. And it's more the sight of them than the smell, because you don't really smell them in the containers. But you set me up with some cute little Christmassy cookies with that frosting on the top. I love frosting. That's my biggest weakness. I could sit and eat the frosting off of every cake and be a happy little, happy as a clam, But I know that that's a trigger for me. So what I've learned to do is, okay, you can have the frosting off the top of the cake container. Because usually when we go to the pantry or we shop or whatever, the container gets jostled around a little bit and just a little bit of frosting gets on the cake container. I'll let myself have that right away. Now, if I want more frosting, I'm going to have a piece of the cake, but a small piece of the cake. Usually for me, I just want a taste of something. I'm a brat. I'm rebellious. And if you tell me no, I'm going to argue with you and tell you yes. I'm going to do that. You're not going to stop me. So I know I'm a rebellious brat when it comes to food. I could never succeed on any type of program that deprives me and says you can't have this and you can't have that, unless it's something I don't want. I'm going to tell you why I can, or I'm going to find a way to sneak it. I'm going to find a way to get it in some form, because I'm like that. And I know that about myself. I know myself very well. So that's why Weight Watchers works for me, because there is absolutely nothing forbidden on Weight Watchers. Now, if you eat a half of a cake, that uses up your points. So when you go to eat something else the next day, you find out, oops, those points are gone. So it's positive reinforcement. What do you want to use your points on? You want to use them on your 0-point foods. You don't want to use them on things that you know are going to take up your points. I love Weight Watchers. I think it's the best thing I've tried so far. Of course, you've heard me say that about other things, and I know that. But that's where I am right now, presently, in this time. This Target 100 book is written by the lady that helped Jennifer Hudson lose weight. If those of you that know Jennifer Hudson, you know that she was very, very obese when she was on, was it American Idol or one of those reality show performance things. She lost tons of weight. She looks great. And this lady helped her do it. So I figured, what have I got to lose? Paid a little money, got the book, and it goes right along with my Weight Watchers program because she's the lady that pretty much ran that whole thing and investigated everything they were doing and why it was working. So yeah, Target 100 is a good book, and Weight Watchers is a good program, and I'm happy with it. And I am still doing my Just Dance. You'll start seeing videos pop up of that because I think I'm going to start bringing that back. I've kind of gotten over the fact that every time I post a video, people are going to comment on, "You're fat." And yeah, I know. That's why I'm dancing. That's why I'm losing the weight. I don't really care. I mean, I care that I'm fat, yes. But I don't really care that you see that and observe it and say that I am. I already know I am. So, you know. And then I look back at where I was like when I started the journey. I may be fat now, but did you see me before? Did you see how far I came? That's what I look at. I don't let things put me down to the point where I can't function. If that ever happens, then I seriously need to commit myself somewhere. Seriously. I have a therapist. I have counselors that I talk to, and it works very well for me. And I'm able to kind of keep coming back to, I don't know what you call it, ground one or whatever. Oh, I've never heard of Chef AJ's plan. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, unprocessed foods, yes, important. I can't say I never eat processed foods. One of my big, big things that I love to eat, and I eat them not by the serving size, usually less than a serving size, are they're called Simply White Cheddar Puffs. I love them. I also like popcorn, but I gag on the kernels every time I eat it. And Matthew doesn't like the sound I make when I gag on them, so I don't end up eating the popcorn very often. But once in a while, I might make air popped popcorn, or I'll get the cheese popcorn. But cheese popcorn is way too high on my point list, so I dare not buy that stuff and have it in the house. I would be gobbling it, and I know that, so I keep that out of sight, out of mind, and I don't bring it in the door. So there you go. Okay, so we went over the 10 things. I'll read them one more time, and then I'm going to show you the chart on the wall. And I'll tell you one more thing that I've learned about myself from my years on YouTube that has probably and is going to save my tail in the end. So our 10 tips for breaking and building habits: barriers, out of sight, out of mind, distracting yourself, one habit linked with another, lowering the, they call it lowering the bar, but it's just basically doing what's easier for you first and then adding stuff on. Checking to see when changes happen and how that affects you and if you're being triggered by that. Keeping in mind that habits are one thing at a time, smallest to largest. Taking a 10-minute break if you have to. If you start getting tempted, hold on, wait 10 minutes, see if you still want the thing or want to do the thing. Emotions, being in touch with yourself, being mindful, being present, and knowing your triggers. Being sure that things that are triggering you are either out of the environment or you switch out what you're wanting to do with something that's better for you. Okay, so those are the 10 ways to make or break the habit or thing that you want to do. I'm going to show you my chart now, and then I'll open up for discussion if you want, questions, whatever, comments. And here we go. So this is my chart. Hopefully you can see it okay. Probably backwards. Sunday, church, and that is my husband's rest day, and we're going to go for a walk, and that is sauce day. So we're going to eat something with sauce, macaroni, cauliflower rice, whatever, with sauce. Thankfulness. Every Sunday, we will talk about what we're thankful for. Also, tea for two is every day. At 2 o'clock, my foster mom taught me this. 2 o'clock, we get tea and 10 crackers with cheese each. Not the chunks of cheese, just a little squirt of the spray cheese. Okay, unless I have like points, I can use the regular cheese. Monday is book night or 3,000 questions. That means we ask each other questions from this book. It's called 3,000 Questions. Or we read a book together. It's meatball day. We're going to make meatballs and have those for dinner with some vegetables. And we're going to talk about some special person we encountered on that day. Tuesday, that's ninja night. That means we watch Ninja Warriors on Tuesdays or something like that. We have tacos on Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, every Tuesday, definitely. We're going to talk about a surprising moment that happened during the day. I'll read your comments in a minute, by the way, if you're commenting. Wednesday is Let's Cook Together. We're going to cook meals together on Wednesdays. We're probably going to have hot dogs and beans on Wednesdays, Beanie Weenie Day. That's what my foster mom calls it. Or burgers. We both like those. Thursday is game night. We play cards, or we might flip it out for a different thing on Thursday if we don't feel like playing games. We eat pizza on Thursdays. What does that say? We talk about our dreams, our wishes, our hopes, our goals, what we're going to do with our money if we have any on Thursday. Friday is movie and popcorn night or movie and cheese curl night, whatever. Fish is Friday. And also we talk about an accomplishment or many accomplishments that we had during the day. Saturday is sandwich day, soup and sandwich. Yes, my plan spelled out us a great reminder to stick to it. I'm not sure what that means. Albie, you have to explain to me what that means. Okay, Malia, have a good day. Thanks for coming. I didn't know you were here because you didn't chat, so good to have you. I appreciate that you love to listen to me. That means a lot. Thank you. I think when I have a topic, people do love to listen to me or like to listen to me because it's strategic. It's not just me rambling and, oh, please somebody talk to me. No, I got to have a topic if I'm coming on from now on. That is one thing I know. Another thing I know is not to come on at night very often because I get very tired and I look dopey on camera. And I don't want to look dopey on camera. I want to look alert and alive and full of energy. There was something else I was going to tell you guys. What was it? Trying to come on during the first part of the month is smarter for me than coming on in the second part of the month. I'm just my thoughts race too much and I talk too fast and I have literally no control over what comes out of my mouth at that point at times, and it gets me into all kinds of trouble, not just online but everywhere. So I mean, I shouldn't say I have no control. I do have control, but I have to think harder to control it. Welcome to cyclothymia. Not a fun thing to have, but it is what it is. And yes, I've tried medicine. It all makes me feel like a zombie. I don't want to be a zombie. I enjoy my change in moods, but I'm better to keep to myself in the later part of the month as much as possible. And now my daughter is calling me. So, hold on a second. I will call you right back. I'm in the middle of a video. I'll call you right back, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Bye.
Bye. All right. There we go. Okay, so does anybody want to share anything or have any comments, any takeaways, or just some advice or whatever? I'll wait a few minutes and you guys can feel free to chit-chat about whatever. If not, I will head off and go and call my daughter. And oh, thank you, LB. Me too. I'm glad and I'm back and I'm doing well. And yeah. And I think we're gonna have a good run of it once I gradually put all these videos back a little bit at a time. I'll be probably starting a job soon, hopefully here, and I won't be here as much. So I will pick and choose my times I come on. Just Dee Dee. Dee Dee's fine. I've always been Dee Dee. I've always defaulted back to Dee Dee. And even when I've changed my name, people still call me Dee Dee. So I'm Dee Dee. That's who I'm going to be. My online name will be Dee Dee, but everybody knows I'm Laura. That's my real name. But we already have a Laura. We have a couple Lauras on here, at least that I know of. There might be more than two. So, Dee Dee. Ta-da! Dee Dee. Dee Dee can stand for so many things on any given day and any given moment. So, it seems apropos. Yeah, so Amber's calling me to do our Bible reading. I think we're on Ephesians 6. That's the last book in Ephesians. And then we are going to chat about whatever's going on in her drama that's happening. And probably mine. Yeah, so that's that. And then tomorrow is church and sauce day. My favorite day. Yummy. We're having stuffed shells tomorrow. I can't wait to make them and to eat them. I'm excited about that with garlic bread. Yes. You too, LB. Anybody else? Anybody? Okay, well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming in. I hope you enjoyed the live stream, part 1 and part 2. Too bad I can't figure out a way to link them together. And again, if anybody knows how to do that intro thing, the intro scene on the videos, let me know. I could use some help. All right. All right. Be blessed, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day and Shabbat Shalom. See you soon.